Hey guys, I hope you all had a really good weekend. This was a grandma weekend for us, so we got to go and stay with grandma and play and hang out, so it was really fun. So this week, as we reconvene again, and I feel like it's been so long since I've done a video, so I apologize, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the habit of doing that more regularly. But this week, I really wanted to focus on the discipline of simplicity. So in order to do that, I've got a couple of different tips for you. I'm also going to be posting some exercises that you could do this week to help you focus on that. And in the spirit of simplicity, I am going to take a lot of this from the blog post that I just wrote and be able to repurpose it in my content. Hey, Margaret, thanks for coming and joining me on this. But I want to tell you a quick story. So this time last year, I was just about ready to pop. So my son was born on January 29th. And so one of the things that my husband and I, had to do is as we looked around our 900 square foot house and we saw all of the stuff that we had and all of the stuff that, the baby had and everything that he was going to need, it became pretty clear pretty fast that we were going to have to make a decision. Like, do we keep all of our junk and the baby stuff and then just drown in stuff, or do we start getting rid of something? And, as I kind of put my hand on my belly and I felt my son kicking, the choice was easy. And we packed up all of our junk so fast, including stuff that I still loved, like clothes and shoes and books. All of the books, packed them up and shipped them out because we said, it's more important that our son has everything he needs and he has the space to run and play and grow. And we're not constantly saying, don't touch this and don't touch that, because we have things that aren't baby friendly. So we got rid of all of it and we decluttered to make room for what was important. And so I just want to encourage you guys that sometimes, our hearts and our spiritual life gets just as cluttered. Even if there's good things that we have there, sometimes the good things can stop us from focusing on the best things. And those are the things that God has for us. So I want to encourage you with a couple of different things. For one, I want you guys to remember that, in this world, there is access to just so much stuff. So I think it's harder maybe in this time and place than it's ever been in history for us to practice simplicity simply because we have access to tons of things. And it seems weird for people when you don't want to collect things or you don't want to spend money on certain things because you're practicing living simply. But I want to encourage you with this word, and this is from 1 John, I believe, where it says, do not love the world or the things of the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but it's of the world. And the world is passing away, and the lust of it, but he who does the will of God abides forever. And I hope that that's encouraging for you, because as we get easily entangled by trying to, be successful by the world's standards, or even keep up, even without really thinking about, what the world considers what we should have. It's easy to get entangled in that and forget that we're just here temporary. We may be here 50, 60, maybe 100 years, but our whole purpose for us being on this earth is that we are training for what God is going to have us to do in heaven. And we have to keep that mindset, right? We have to make sure that we're thinking as citizens of heaven, because that's where we're really from, and not citizens of earth and doing things like the people of the world. So here are some things that I'm hoping will help you guys practice simplicity. One is practicing simple speech. It's super easy to tell a story and kind of twist it or embellish it to make you seem in the best light. Just speak simply and plainly. Tell the facts, just the facts, and let the chips fall where they may. It's also really easy. I think people have a habit of saying, oh, I'll pray for you, or yeah, I can commit to that, or yeah, I can do that, without actually taking the time to sit and think about what they're actually saying. So when you practice speaking simply, it means take a second, think about what you're actually saying, so that you aren't, you don't turn into somebody who's flaky, who agrees to a bunch of things and never does them, but that you could be somebody whose yes is yes and whose no is no, and who says what they mean and means what they say. Another thing is practicing simplicity in spending. And I know that that's something that I'm even working on because I love the Dollar Tree because everything's $1. So it's so easy for me to be like, oh, I didn't need this, but hey, it's just $1. I should get it. But in reality, that's not me being a good steward. And again, there's nothing wrong with having an occasional treat that's helpful for people. And it's helpful for me to have something, small to look forward to. But if I've got a habitual habit of impulse buying and spending money on stuff that I don't need, then I'm not stewarding my finances wisely. And it's more than just, impulse buying. It could be a daily Starbucks habit or, premium cable packages, which is one of the reasons why my husband and I got rid of cable completely, because it was essential. It's not something that we needed. And the cool thing, if you think about it, is once you start cutting back and you start looking at, your line item budgets and saying, okay, I don't need this, I don't need that. You can then take that seed money and you can go sow it to help grow the kingdom of God. Whether that means you're giving it to your local church or to an international ministry or someplace that fights sex trafficking or slave trafficking, that $5 that you used to spend on Starbucks could bring the difference between freedom and slavery for somebody. It can make the difference between, coming to know God because now you helped a Bible be translated in a language and somebody heard it and accepted Christ. It becomes the seeds of change. So that's another way you could practice simplicity. And the last thing is practicing simplicity in your spirit. And that could mean simply not complicating your life with God. Sometimes we have to learn how to just sit and be still like Mary at the feet of the Lord and just be in his presence without, a long list of things, without an agenda, without trying to get an answer, but just trying to be with him for the sake of being with him. And also, it means practicing simplicity in your heart. So that means letting go of old hurts and grudges and anger and frustration and annoyances and all of those different things that keep us really bound and they keep us from making progress because we can't let go of those things. So when we practice simplicity and getting rid of inessentials, you don't need anger or hurt. Being able to freely give forgiveness and joy and love and peace and hope is not only going to set you free from those things, but it's also going to, again, build the kingdom of God and set some other people free because you're giving them mercy and you're giving them these things that they desperately need that we, of the children of God, we have access to. So I hope that gives you just an overview of what you could do for simplicity this week. I'll be posting some other exercises, and I hope that we could just work on this discipline together. So if you guys have any questions or even any suggestions, please post them. And thank you, all you ladies who joined me live today. And that's all I got for right now. So until next time, guys, be blessed.